Is summer ball a scam or is it worth it? A battle I'm constantly fighting every single year here and at the facility, trying to give guidance to these young high schoolers coming up through, heck, even at the college level, they're always asking, hey, Summers, is it a good idea if I play summer ball? Is it beneficial? End up always telling them, no, you should be training, but they still end up going to play anyways. Every facility out there gets it. Every coach out there gets it. So it's like pulling teeth trying to convince these guys that summer ball's not gonna get you where you wanna be. What's gonna get you where you wanna be is training, building adaptations, learning how to throw harder, learning how to hit harder, building the body. So today, I'm gonna, share some information with you to maybe help you solidify a decision on what you should be prioritizing this summer. Play summer ball, get your at-bats, go have fun with your teammates, go waste all your parents' money, or find a local facility, find a local coach, go in every single day and actually get better. So if you're on the fence, even at the college level, about playing summer ball, this is a video you're not gonna wanna miss. Step 1, get clear on your goal. What's your dream school? An SEC school, ACC? Be extremely specific. Where do you actually want to play? I always recommend to our kids, I don't tell them to be realistic, okay? I tell them, hey, write me a list of 5-10 schools where you wanna go play at, and my job is to coach you, make you better, and try to get you there. But you have to listen to what I'm saying. So if my advice is, right, you bring me a list of schools, Vanderbilt's your very first school you want to go to, but you're a right-handed pitcher right now in high school, okay, and you throw 81 miles an hour, realistic, okay, from a realist standpoint, that ain't gonna get it done. The Vanderbilt coach ain't gonna come watch you, play a summer ball game and see you throwing 81 miles an hour and write your name on his list. Listen, the game has changed. You need to be ready to go right now. You need to be ready to compete right now at those high levels if that's your goal, because the transfer portal changed the game. Coaches aren't taking as many long-term bets on projectable high schoolers anymore. They want players who can produce right now, and that's who they're finding in the portal. So if I'm a Vanderbilt coach, if I'm Tony Vitello down there at Tennessee, am I gonna go ahead and look at a projectable high schooler, okay, and take a risk on developing him in order for him to be capable of playing at our school and competing? Or am I gonna go ahead, pop in the transfer portal, maybe a Florida kickback that didn't like Sully over there, or a highly touted JUCO prospect that's throwing 98, ready to go right now, ready to make an instant impact? Do the common sense there, man. They're not gonna pick the guy that's 81, okay, and maybe has some projectable. They're gonna go with that kid that's already ready to roll 10 out of 10 times. The game has simply changed with these transfer portals. So that brings us to step 2. You have to be brutally honest with yourself. Are you good enough right now to play there? To play at your dream school, to play in your dream conference? Like I said, if you want to pitch at Vandy but you top out at 81, you are not ready yet. And that's not being negative, that's just being real. And here's the truth most aren't going to tell you. You don't develop at all during summer ball. If you're not already where you need to be, playing more games isn't the answer. Training is. If you have high expectations, you want to go to one of these big Power 5 schools, okay, and you're not there yet, you're not ready yet, you need to skip summer ball, get into a facility, get with a coach that knows what they're doing to spend that entire summer building so you can show up to fall a completely different beast. Because what tends to ultimately happen, if you're not ready yet and you have these high expectations to go into these big universities, if you play summer ball, all these different select teams, whatever it is, FTB, all these high-level teams that play in front of these college scouts, but you're not good, you're not going to gain exposure, you're going to get exposed. So they're going to cross your name off the list. You're doing a lot more harm than good. So your best bet is to dial in a closed environment and get after it this summer and get better. Sometimes summer ball is a good idea, okay? When it is a good idea is if you already have the raw talent. You already hit balls, 100 plus miles an hour. You're already throwing, low 90s. You're already competing at a high level. Now you can go out to these different select teams and showcase your talents in front of these college coaches to get real exposure. But the prereq to doing that is actually being good enough to play at that school. People see all these kids on social media at these select teams hitting 500-foot homers, and they think they're already there. But unfortunately, they're not. You need to build, you need to commit to it, you need to have a prerequisite of actually being good enough to go play at the schools of your dreams before you go out and start showcasing your talent. It's common sense, but parents and coaches get it twisted because why? What happens? Little Johnny will receive an email from one of these big time perfect games, whatever it may be, high select teams. Hey, we're pleased to inform you and to congratulate you that little Johnny just got, invited to this showcase, okay? Or this showcase or being a part of this select team. But in the fine print, it says, hey, it's gonna cost you $500. Because this travel ball scene is extremely lucrative and all these teams, all these organizations feed off hope. They feed off giving little Johnny hope that Vanderbilt's gonna come out and see him. They give little Johnny the hope, so that's what they pull, the finances. They pull the heartstrings of those parents that feel blessed because their little son got invited to one of these select teams. But in reality, they're inviting every kid in the country and they're just collecting in that coin. The good players, the elite players are always invited for free because they are the ones that build up the team, right? They are the ones that are marketable for that team. If you're having to pay a lot of money to be on these teams, to go to these different showcases, camps, whatever it may be, the whole summer ball team, odds are you're not gonna gain any exposure, you're just gonna get exposed. And I know that's a lot, I know that's hard to hear, but it's just true. Some of these teams are 10 grand a summer. And you got to go fly all around the country, travel all around the country, sacrificing your weekends, spending time in hotels, all using your parents' money. And you'll go to all these different trips and sometimes only get 2 at-bats a weekend, sit on the bench and not even play. I hear that time and time again. So what's a better use of your time? What's a better use of your finances during the summer rather than paying, $10K just to be on the team itself in some of these cases, plus your hotel fees, travel, all that. Heck, you can have a $50,000 summer. That's not out of the question. Or, pay a private facility. There's facilities popping up everywhere that are offering live ABs, pitching instruction, hitting instruction. Get with a good one, okay? If it's not us in the area, get with that, invest the monthly cost there, and you can go in and get 20 at-bats in a week without traveling all over the country. You can actually dial in, focus, and get better on your craft. Then when you show up to fall next year, you actually show the coach that you put in the work. Maybe you got a little bit bigger, maybe you're throwing a little bit harder, maybe you're running a little bit faster. Now he can fast track you to spring, throw you in the starting lineup, okay? Now that's the time you can showcase in front of those college scouts. They're gonna come down for your high school games, whatever it may be. The whole principle, the whole idea, what I'm trying to instill in you, okay? What I've always tried to preach since I opened this facility and started working with younger players is you have to be good enough, okay? You have to lay that foundation first. If you're good enough, yeah, go play summer ball, go gain your exposure. But don't lie to yourself. Are you good enough to play at your dream school? If you're not, figure out a way to get it done. And at the college level, all this holds true as well too. So big player, right, that I'm known for coaching that's having a lot of success right now. Guys, the hardest working kid I've ever worked with. It's an absolute pleasure and very fortunate that he trusted in us for his development, is a guy like Colby Shelton. First year he went to Alabama, played third base. They didn't want to move him to shortstop, think he couldn't play short. Had a very successful year, had 25 jacks as a true freshman, lit the scene on fire. His coaches placed him in the Cape Cod League after that freshman campaign, to go get more live ABs with a wood bat so the scouts had a chance to see him. Colby, and through talking to him, had to make a decision. Do I stay here with this elite summer ball team and not develop physically, not develop my raw skills, okay, and just get live ABs to showcase what I already have to these pro scouts? Or do I, come down here to our place to train, to build attributes to help him achieve his goals, which later on will stack up and make him more valuable in a scout's eyes? So what I mean by that is he had a decision to make. He knows being third base, it's gonna be hard to go in the first round. He wanted to be a shortstop, so he had to make that happen. What he needed to make happen was he needed to trim down on his body fat. He needed to be able to move more side to side, increase his agility, get a little bit faster, and just pattern ground balls. Be a little bit more light on his feet. In doing that, he decided to choose the training route rather than the playing route, because he knew he was actually going to get better in here in this scene. And it ended up working out for him. So he didn't play in the Cape Cod League, okay? He chose training, and then fast forward a year, he's starting shortstop every single day, still hitting 20 jacks for the Florida Gators. He went from being a projected middle of the road pick to a projected first round pick because he bet on himself. So he knew that he would get a better ROI, or return on his investment, if he spent the year training than he would be playing, and it ultimately worked out for him. Like I said, he went from being a middle of the road guy playing third base, still with a lot of pop, to being a projected first round pick, starting shortstop every single day with the Florida Gators. So you have to pick and choose wisely. You can't waste a year of development if your goal is, these high achievements. Another guy I just talked to, his buddy, Dawson Harmon. Literally last week I was talking to him. He's at JUCO right now, hitting all these home runs, hitting 360, okay? Just committed to South Carolina. He's like, hey, Summers, I think I might, go out, try to play in the Cape, play some summer ball. And I'm like, man, what are you gonna get out of playing summer ball? You're hitting 360 right now. You're gonna hit 20 home runs this year. You can only lose draft stock if you play. Like, you're not gonna go to the Cape and hit 15 more jacks and increase your draft stock. You're already here. So the risk doesn't outweigh the reward there. So I'm like, hey, might as well shut it down, come in here, we'll build you up properly for the draft. You don't need to go get mindless ABs if you're already solidified yourself as a top dog. So where playing summer ball would make sense, if you're a fringe guy, okay? If you're a guy in the SEC, right? Not doing so hot, you have the attributes, you throw hard, you have all the raw talent, you run fast, but you haven't really made an adjustment to playing the game. Maybe you're not too good with the off speed, whatever it may be. Playing the game would actually make you better because you have all the physical attributes, you just need to play the game better. So you need to decide what type of player you are. Are you physically gifted? Have you built your physicality up enough to support, for a good baseball player that can compete at the high level that college coaches are going to look at? Or, are you a good ball player, you put together good ABs, you just need the physical component? So which one are you? You need to make that decision, and if it's one or the other, go train or go play. But 9 times out of 10, my advice always is, hey, spend that time off training. All these training facilities are set up, like ours included, to where you can go in and face a bunch of live pitchers, get all your live ABs you should need. Don't go travel the country spending all your parents' money to get 2 ABs a weekend. You don't need to do that. You could get 20 at-bats in a week, joining a facility like ours down here in Clearwater, Florida. If you don't have access to a facility somewhere, you can get on our SummersMethod Plus app. I'll link it in the description below. We're giving away a month free trial right now. Just make sure you click that link in the description. And you can do that at your local Crunch Fitness and maybe grab a group of buddies and go up to a field and do your own live ABs. There's always ways to get better. And I'm telling you guys, travel ball never is the answer. You can go gain exposure if you're already good, but if you're not, you're simply gonna get exposed. So make sure you choose your summer wisely. This summer, right now, is the most important summer of your career. And I'll leave you with that. Game rewards the grind. It knows how much you've invested.